Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. TheSketchMonkey here. I'm back at Winslow BMW to have a look at this Vegas red with the Oyster interior 2025 BMW 330i. Now, it doesn't really matter. I can't think of one single 3 Series. It doesn't matter the year, the drivetrain, the spec. It's always a pleasure to go back into a 3 Series, and that goes for 2025 as well. So what we're gonna do in this video is have a look at this beautiful spec that we have here. M Sport package, of course, front end, side, rear, the interior, and then we're going to take this for a drive. 255 horsepower, but keep in mind that these are German horsepower, meaning that it feels like, honestly feels like this is closer to 300 horsepower. More on that when we take this for a drive. Before we jump in and talk about this beautiful, in my opinion, 3 Series 2025 model year 330, let's have a look at some of the spec and tech, what's going on under the hood here. As I said, you have 255 horsepower from a 2-liter turbo inline 4, 295 pound-feet of torque, 8-speed automatic, all-wheel drive with the xDrive, of course. 0 to 60 in about 5.4 seconds. Top speed, it goes up to 155 miles per hour. Fuel economy, fantastic. 26 city, 34 highway. And the price for this one, as this one is tested, comes out to $58,300. So with that said, let's close the hood here and let's talk about this design. What is BMW doing with the 3 Series? It looks pretty much the same as I think they went back to 2023. They haven't really changed a lot for the 2025 model year when it comes to the exterior design, except for the wheel design, which I'm a huge fan of. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. But starting up here with the hood, we have some very nice lines in the hood here, coming back into the A-pillar. 2 lines coming down from the A-pillar, connecting nicely into the grille. And this is what I want to see more of from BMW, to have this line flow connection with the key lines in the bodywork connecting to the key graphic features that we have in the front end. This being the M Sport package, something that I would 100% go with the 3 Series, is because it blacks out all the graphic features all around the car. We don't have any sort of chrome anywhere in this car. Full LED headlights, adaptive headlights right here, indicator light in the very end point of this LED. You have the same sort of thickness, making it feel pretty static feel for the LEDs for 2025. I like this line that we have here, cutting in to this black graphic piece here, and we have functional air slots on the side. And the color combination with the black graphics and this Vegas red, I think it's a beautiful looking car. Now the kidneys, they have a clear connection to the headlights as well. So you have this connection. There is no bodywork cutting through and having it separated between the headlight and the kidneys. And the kidneys themselves, I do think they look good. I would like to have a little bit more of a bodywork right here underneath the kidneys. This area feels a little too thin for me. But other than that, I mean, it's still one of the best looking BMWs on sale today. This looks a little complex. As always with BMW M's package these days, it just gets very complex with the design at the lower section. You can see that these are active shutters here for the grille. You also have opening down here with the radar in the middle. Now coming around to the side view, and thankfully, as I said, BMW is just bringing back, hopefully a lot of more manufacturers gonna do this as well, just bring back some silver wheels. It just looks better than black in 99% of the cases. And the reason being is we can see and appreciate the wheel design here. And these are beautiful looking wheels. They're 19-inch wheels, 225 in the front end with the M brake caliper. And you can see the BMW individual here, sort of machined aluminum feel with the black contrast here. Stunning looking wheels, 225s in the front, and I do think we have the same size back here. So we have 225s in the front and 225s in the rear end as well. 19-inch wheels. I would not want to go into 20s for this. I think 19s, if you look at the proportions here, it just fills out the wheelhouses perfectly, and these wheels, or these type of designs, make it feel like they are bigger than what they actually is. It almost looks like 20s when you just look at the wheel design. Love the shoulder lines that we have for BMW 3 Series, because it fades right here in the front fender and then goes all the way back. And look at this, kind of dual action here. This fades into this area, and then it starts again with the door handle design, which then connects into the taillight. Pretty interesting solution for the shoulder line, but we still have a very strong shoulder And we also have the Hofmeister kink kind of intact here. One reason why you want to go with the M Sport package is that everything is of course black instead of chrome, and personally I just think for a small sedan like the 3 Series, supposed to be a bit sporty, you want to have it black instead of chrome, at least in my opinion. Now the blacked out side mirrors here as well, in addition to the big LED indicator on the side, looking great. You have a nice line flow in the bottom section, carving out some of this volume, and then just have this very interesting dip here. So it just pops upwards with this angle, with this line. Interesting sort of, I don't know what the designers were thinking there, to just maybe carve it back up. It looks pretty weird, but it also adds a little bit of uniqueness to the line flow that we have for the 3 Series. Now overall, I think the 3 Series has always been one of the best proportioned small sedans. And I think if you look at this one, the proportions of it, how the A-pillar stretches down, if you have draw a line from the A-pillar, it goes straight down into the very center of the front axle, and that is exactly the proportions that you want to have for a small sedan like this. So beautiful still in 2025, the proportions of the 3 Series. Now coming around to the rear end, we have a hockey stick design for the taillights. You can see we have the 3D effect. Love these taillights because this still has a lot of this dynamic feature that I want to see for BMW that is slowly going away, and probably goes away with the next generation 3 Series. I can almost guarantee that we're just going to have a static LED with the same thickness all over and lose this automotive feel that we definitely have intact here. Just look at how thick it is here, coming back to a thinner piece with the LED indicators, very strong here as well in the taillight. I love the framing that we have with this line going down here, and then kind of creates a zigzag line going up into this trunk lid as well. In addition to the M Sport package, you have this little lip spoiler up top. Not sure if I want to have it like this in black, or maybe even have it in body color. I think I would prefer to have this little lip spoiler in Vegas red as well. You got the xDrive badge here, meaning that you do have all-wheel drive, and all the way down low, the black graphics that we have in the front end now comes back in the lower section as well. You can see how it carves out very harshly or abruptly into the side of the bumper, and it places this reflector light here. Still very beautiful, even if we have some interesting graphic features here for the 330. So popping up the trunk here, it is power assisted, and you do have plenty of space here. Typical sedan opening, of course, this not being a hatchback. We have some storage here on the right side, some storage again on the left side with some netting, and if you want more space back here, of course, you can always fold down the rear seat. But overall, it looks like a pretty decent storage for this size of package of a vehicle. So with that said, let's do one quick last walk around of this car. Vegas red with the 19-inch M Sport package wheels and the graphics as well. I think this is still one of the best looking BMWs on sale today. 3 Series has always been that, just the perfect proportions for a sporty little sedan. And even though the 330 only has 255 horsepower, this is by far the one I would go for. I don't feel like I need more power than 255 horsepower. It's very strange, but it feels closer, as I said in the intro, to 300 horsepower. So with that said, let's jump in and have a look at this Oyster interior that we have right here with the iDrive 8 system. I do think this is probably not the color for the interior that I would choose. I would want to have a bit more darker interior. Looking at the door panel here, you have the memory buttons for the seats, window controls, and the mirror controls as well. Opening and unlock the door panel, having this ambient lighting coming back like we have all over new BMWs inside of this, looking beautiful. Harman Kardon stereo system, sound system in here, and the leather also wraps around to the door handle up to the top piece right here, being soft touch material. M, when you step in here, looking beautiful. Power assisted seat adjustments, of course. So let's jump in here and let's fire this up. Let's see what this is all about. So we have the start button down here, of course, as always in new BMWs. Firing it up, looking beautiful. We have 13.7-inch infotainment screen, 12.3-inch gauge cluster in the middle with all the configurations that you need for the gauge cluster. You can configure this as you want. So you can go into content here, for example, using these buttons on the right side of the steering wheel to figure out exactly what you want that to look like. You can also change the entire layout if you want to do that, to have a different type of feel or vibe for your gauge cluster. And last but not least, if we go to the right here, you can configure the look of the head-up display and have that look like very interesting sci-fi looking stuff. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but BMW has always had this very interesting graphics for their head-up displays. So great to see that full configurability for all the displays in here. Now this system, talked about this before, and what I think about it, I do prefer the xDrive 7 system for sure, but now that we have this, we have all the climate control settings integrated inside of the infotainment screen, as I'm sure you know already. So you have the AC on here, for example. We can turn that off now for sure and maybe boost the temp a little bit. You also have max AC sync, where you want the air to blow out from, with these buttons right here. Pretty easy, I guess, to figure out what you're doing here to turn these on and off. It's the visualization looks decent, but still it would be just so much easier to have an array of buttons down here. Going into the home screen, you have a bunch of apps. Interior lighting, you can change the color here for the ambient lighting, which is always nice to see. Dynamic light, you have mobile devices, connect your Apple CarPlay, which is probably something that I would always have connected to my personal BMW 330. Vehicle status, check the engine oil level and all of this, checking that everything is okay, like the animation here. It even is in Vegas red, which is small details that I appreciate when the car companies put in the right color in the software for the car that you're actually sitting in. Going into system settings here, we can check this out. All these settings that you're probably just gonna change or set one time and not change ever again. We can go into driver settings here, driver assistance, lane departure assist, and all of these settings, you can turn those on and off. Same with the drivetrain, you can go in and figure out your individual settings here. Very responsive, I give BMW that. This system is very, very responsive. There's not a lot of lag at all. It is very easy to sort of get used to this type of system after a while. Go into navigation, we can blow up the map. I like that it gives it the full panoramic view or widescreen view of the map. Pretty decent looking native system from BMW here. You have the heated steering wheel and heated seats button right here next to the temperature controls. And all the way down here we have some interesting textures. It's not definitely not carbon fiber, but it's something silver, plastic I do believe, with some texture on it. Like this integration here of the vents, this feels a little bit easier to figure out where the air is coming from than the X5 and the 7 Series, for example. These toggles, you can see here, you turn it on and off by twisting it and then just angling it where you want the air to blow to. Volume knob down here, a couple of more settings for the toggle track, hazard button, max AC, rear defroster, stuff like that. Physical buttons for those features, at least down here. You have this lid you can open up, and underneath here you're gonna find, first of all, let's check out the key. Typical BMW key with the M colors on the side, looking great. Lock, unlock, trunk button, and the panic button there as well. Nothing on the back side. Wireless charger here, 12-volt outlet. You have a USB, a regular USB. I want to see more new 2025 cars with not just USB-Cs, because I have a lot of devices that still only uses a regular old USB port. So good to see that here. Cup holders, 12 volt as we talked about. This is standard for pretty much every single BMW on sale. Right now it all looks pretty much the same. Traction control on and off, shut off the automatic shut off at red lights, definitely. You have the parking sensors on and off, start button, and the drive modes here. So putting it into sport, you can hear the exhaust just coming alive a little bit compared to just having it in comfort or Eco Pro, and I'm definitely gonna keep it in sport when we take this for a drive. Of course, comfort changes up the entire vibe or the entire sort of layout for the gauge cluster infotainment screen. Eco Pro, if you decide to just want to save some fuel, you go into Eco Pro, but I like to keep it in sport for short drives and test drives like we're gonna do in a minute. Parking brake here, all these shortcuts for the navigation screen, physical buttons for those, I do like to see that. Armrest, beautiful looking armrest. Fold this back up, you do have a USB-C right there in addition to an LED light, looking very nice. Pretty shallow storage, but I wouldn't expect anything else for a 3 Series. Now looking at these seats here, proper bolstering on these seats, and that is what I want to see in a 3 Series or pretty much every single BMW, because BMW as a brand you know, in its essence, is still a very sporty brand compared to Mercedes, which is more of a luxury brand. I still want to see sporty seats, even though it's supposed to be you know, a 7 Series or something like that. I still want to have sporty seats in pretty much every single BMW, and these look great. Heated, not ventilated for this specific 3 Series. Moving on to the steering wheel. This is, again, just from the parts bin of BMW. They just pick the steering wheel and just slap it onto pretty much every single model that they have, which is not bad at all, because I like the steering wheel. I like the industrial feel like we have with the styling down here, these hollowed out pieces in the third spoke. Of course, flat bottom. We have the controls, as I showed you, for the gauge cluster. Configure that however you want. On the right side here, volume controls as well, voice command, and you have the cruise control settings on the left side with the paddles for the 8-speed automatic. A pretty decent size for the paddles here. Indicator stock on the left side, and you have the washer right here on the right side. And light controls buttons, you have those located to the left of the steering wheel. Additional vent here, of course. Looking up top, we have a sunroof, a pretty standard size sunroof. So let's open this up. It's a pretty gray day today, so it's good to get a little bit more light in here and make it a little brighter maybe. So with that said, I think we talked about everything in the front end of the car. So let's jump back. This is my driving position. I feel pretty comfortable here, being 6'1", 6'2". So let's see if I can fit behind my own driving position in a 3 Series. This is not a 5 Series, not a 7 Series. This is a small one. And looking in here, it looks like I'm probably going to fit pretty well there. We have the same sort of situation like we have in the front door with the materials here, and also the ambient lighting comes back in the back as well, looking beautiful. So let's jump in here. And honestly, this is kind of strange, but I feel like I have more space in a 3 Series than the 2025 BMW X5. That doesn't make sense at all, but I definitely have more legroom in the 3 Series than the X5 that I just reviewed. No problems at all with the space here. Headroom is great as well. Doesn't have sort of a carved out portion here, but it still doesn't need it because I have no issues at all. We have some LED buttons up top, and we also have climate settings here. So 3 climate zones for this car, a couple of USB seats at the bottom, and folding down the center armrest, you will find this German engineered, again, cup holders that just pops up like this. Beautifully done. Let's close them back down. And with that said, let's take the BMW 330 2025 model year for a drive. And it's interesting. This is one of the cars that on paper sounds like it has not a lot of power, but it's just weird how this works. The 255 horsepower in this car. So let's see how that feels in real life out on the road. All right, guys, let's take the 2025 BMW 330 xDrive for a drive here. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. 255 horsepower and how that feels like so much more. At least 50 horsepower more than that. I just love the German horsepower, how they tune their engines to make them feel this powerful. If you compare it to example for any other American, Japanese, South Korean brand that says that they have 250 horsepower in there, definitely does not feel like this. I mean, this is the reason why I think the 330, if you're getting a 3 Series and you want a fun, powerful car to drive, the 330 is definitely enough, at least in my opinion. I really don't feel like I need any more power than this. This just pulls. And we got a nice chunky steering wheel, heated steering wheel, warming up my cold hands at the moment. Let's go into manual here, S2. There's no one behind us. Let's come to a stop here before we get any traffic behind us. And let's go. Really sounds good as well, even though it's just a 2-liter inline 4. It sounds angry. It sounds BMW-ish. I love it. I got a G meter in the center of my screen now as well, drawing a little map with this laser light in the middle, looking pretty cool. 0.6 7 max G so far. Let's see if we can beat that in this corner that's coming up here. Down to second. I got a Subaru Impreza in front of me. I know he can take corners, so let's see here. No, I didn't break the 0.67 Gs in that corner. But again, BMW, they just know how to make cars that drive absolutely incredible. And the 3 Series has always been, I would say the 3 Series, if you compare it to the 5 Series, 7 Series of the old generations, I think the 3 Series has always been the one that set the standard for what a small sporty sedan should just feel like when you're driving it. I also love the fact that they are coming back with some silver wheels, both for the X5 that I reviewed for 2025, and now also the 3 Series. In 2021 to 2024, like every single car I reviewed just had black wheels, even though the wheel design was just gorgeous. If it's black, I can't really appreciate the design because you can't see it. There's, it's all like a black hole in it. It's very exciting to see, manufacturers themselves coming out with some beautiful looking silver wheels, at least some gunmetal wheels or something like that. This is definitely a car, 100%. If I were to buy a BMW daily driver today, it would be this one, the xDrive 330. You got all-wheel drive for days like today when it just snowed like crazy overnight. Got a little, slippery outside. Then you want to have the xDrive for sure instead of just the 330i. And on top of that, it's just such a fun car to drive. This looks great too. One of the best looking Beamers on sale right now. Let's go before we get the red light here. Oh yeah, sounds good too. Definitely, it would be nice to have a 6-cylinder inline 6 like the old 330s in this one, but now everybody's bringing down the displacement and just slapping turbos on everything. 4 cylinders and even 3 cylinders like we have in the new Nissan Rogue for 2025, for example. And also, you can make a 3-cylinder great though. Toyota with the GR Corolla, they nailed the 3-cylinder. It's one of the best engines Toyota has ever done, I think. It's a great 3-cylinder, but for BMW, I want to have that raspy, that razor sharp inline 6 noise that was specific for especially the E46 M3. When you stepped on that, it sounded like metal, just sharp noise. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So let's go down to second gear. The shifts are great as well. 8-speed automatic, BMWs and gearboxes, they always seem to nail that, no problems at all. Just feels like a extremely sporty little sedan, exactly what the 3 Series was supposed to be from the very beginning. Big thanks to Winslow BMW here in Colorado Springs for providing this 3 Series for me to review for you guys today. If you're interested in this one, it is for sale, brand new, and they have a bunch of cool new inventory at the moment. Also the pre-owned inventory. That is the reason why I keep coming back here, because they have such cool inventory here pretty much every single week. So go and check them out at winslowbmw.com and see if you can find some cool car for yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.